Chair Fletcher, I'm glad you gave that clarity. There are two other issues that I had a concern with this. I absolutely want to support it. I think getting rid of the bad actors is really important moving forward. But there is a notion of how we define size, right? I mean, is this about a guy who's putting a fence in his backyard that's attached to his house, or is this really about a larger contractor? And I think when I read the board letter, it talked about, or left me with the impression it was focused on larger contractors, but there was no guidance for how we define that. So I think that that's going to be a tipping point moving forward. The second thing is the timeline. You know, we saw in the last year with a pandemic that not everything happened as quickly as one would hope. And so you may have a sub working for you, but what happens if 60% of their employees have COVID and now you're on project and you may have to substitute out? So I think that when we go through with this, we should also anticipate future pandemics and perhaps include something that you may have to change a sub somewhere along the way. And then the final thing is, you know, you may get the permit, but you may be getting stages of the permit as you move forward. And so knowing everybody before you start the project, and you did address this already, which I'm appreciative of, but what if it was based on 14 days after you hired the sub, you had to post them, so that we are having that transparency. We are addressing these issues, but we're also making it very livable in that we're not trying to slow down the process and moving forward. If you're open to taking those amendments, I support this in a heartbeat.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you, Supervisor. I don't think they're necessarily amendments, because that is really the details of what the stakeholder group will work out. But I will tell you the commitment is on the timeline. You can't know when you get the permit every sub you're going to have on a project, which is why it's not tied to the permit. And that would even slow down the permit process. It is only when you contract with the sub. And we can work on a reasonable timeline of once you've done that to figure out how you facilitate that. And again, folks that are doing it, they have the info. It's just a matter of sharing the info. And I think we can figure out how we can reasonably do that. Your question on size, the real aim and intention here is these larger projects. That individual who's doing a project on their house, that would be the handful of cases that are actually covered by 421. In many cases where it's an owner, someone on a property that was owned. But again, we can clarify that as we move forward. We're primarily talking about large projects here with lots of subs. And then if you add in a different sub, that would be the same as hiring a new sub. And so throughout the duration of a project, you may have multiple iterations there where you bring on new folks. When you bring them on, you brought them on. You share that information, it gets posted. And so I think all of your concerns are fair, and I think we can work through all of those with the stakeholder engagement and get to something that is workable and good here.
Thank you.
Thank you.